Hi guys, time for our Pooh story. The story today is about Piglet and he gets stuck in the rain. So let's see what happens. It had rained and rained and rained. Piglet told himself that in all his life, and he was goodness knows how old, 3 or 4, had never seen so much rain. Days and days and days. If only I'd been at Pooh Bear's house, or Christopher Robin's house, or Rabbit's house when it began to rain. I should have some company, instead of being here all alone with nothing to do except wonder when it will stop. And he imagined himself with Pooh saying, "Did you ever see such rain, Pooh? Isn't it awful, Piglet?" And Piglet saying, "I wonder how it is over at Christopher Robin's." And Pooh saying, "I should think poor old Rabbit is flooded out by this time." It would be wonderful to talk like this, and really, it wasn't much good having anything except exciting like floods if you couldn't share them with somebody. Well, this was rather exciting. The little dry ditches in which Piglet had nosed about so often had become streams. A little stream across which he had splashed were rivers, and the river became steep banks, and they played so happily and sprawled out of its own bed it was taking up too much room everywhere. The Piglet was beginning to wonder if it would be coming into his bed soon. "It's all a little scary," he said, "to be a very small animal entirely surrounded by water." Christopher Robin and Pooh should escape by climbing the trees, and Kanga could escape by jumping, and Rabbit could escape by burrowing, and Owl could escape by flying, and Eeyore could escape hmm, by making a loud noise until he was rescued. And here I am, surrounded by water, and I can't do anything. It went on raining, and every day the water got a little higher until now it was nearly up to Piglet's window, and still he hadn't done anything. "There's Pooh," he pretended. "Pooh hasn't much brain, but there he goes over to never comes to any harm. He does silly things, and they turn out all right. There's Owl. Hasn't exactly got a brain, but he knows things. He would be all right. He would know the thing to do when surrounded by water. Then there's Rabbit. He can always think of a clever plan." There he is. He's in his tree. Uh-oh, here comes the water. Then, suddenly, he remembered a story in which Christopher Robin had told him about a man on a desert island who had been writing something in a bottle and thrown it into the water. And Piglet thought that if he wrote something in a bottle and threw it into the water, maybe somebody would come and rescue him. So he left the window and began to search his house to see if he could find some paper. And then he wrote a note. It said, "Help! Piglet! Me!" And on the other side it said, "It's me, Piglet! Help, help!" And then he put the paper in the bottle, and he put the bottle out the window into the water. See? Putting the bottle with the note out into the water. So now somebody else will have to do something, and I hope they will do it soon, because if they don't, I shall have to swim, which I can't. So I hope they do it soon. And then he gave a very long sigh and said, "I wish Pooh were here. It's so much more friendlier with two." When the rain began, Pooh was asleep. It rained and it rained and it rained, and he slept and he slept and he slept. He had a tiring day. Pooh was very excited when he heard and suggested he should. Oh, then suddenly he was dreaming. He was at the East Pole, and then it was very cold, the coldest of all, and Pooh had found a beehive to sleep in, but there wasn't any room for his legs, so we left him outside, and wild woozles came, and he was having the craziest dream, that Pooh Bear. "This is serious. I must have an escape." So Pooh Bear woke up and found the water, and then he put all his honey jars on the branch. So there's Pooh. 2 days later, there was Pooh sitting on the branch with his legs, dangling his legs, and there beside him were his pots of honey. 3 days later, there was Pooh sitting on the branch with one pot of honey. 4 days later, there was Pooh. And it was on the morning of the fourth day that Piglet's bottle came floating past him. And with one shout of "Honey!" Pooh Bear jumped into the water, got the bottle, and climbed back up his tree. "Oh, bother! It's all wet. And what's this bit of paper doing?" He took it out and looked at it. "It's a message. That's what it is. And that letter is a P. So that is that a P means Pooh, so it's very important. Message to me. I can't read it. We must find Christopher Robin or Owl or Piglet or one of those clever readers who can read things. Then he had an idea. If a bottle can float on a jar can float, and a jar floats, I can sit on top of it if it's a very big jar. So he took his biggest jar, put a tap on it. All boats have to have a name, so I shall call mine the Floating Bear. And with these words, he put his boat into the water and jumped in. For a little while, Pooh and the Floating Bear were not sure which way to go, and after trying one or two different ways, they settled on the Floating Bear underneath and Pooh next to it. So Pooh is trying to float on the honey jar. Christopher Robin lived at the very top of the forest. It had rained and rained and rained, but the water hadn't come up to his house. So there's Christopher Robin. The water wasn't up to his house yet. I saw Owl, said Christopher Robin. Isn't this fun? I'm on an island. It has been raining, said Owl. Yes, it has. The flood level has increased. The what? The water. Oh, yes, it has. However, it might be becoming more favorable at any moment. Have you seen Pooh? No, at any moment. I hope he's all right. I've been wondering about him. I expect Piglet's with him. Do you think they're all right, Owl? I expect so. You see, at any moment, do go and see Owl, because Pooh hasn't got very much friend, and he might do something silly, and I do love him so. Go see Owl. That's all right. I'll go. Back directly. So, in a little while, he was back again. Pooh isn't there. Not there. Has been there. He's been sitting on the branch of his tree outside of his house, but he's not there now. Oh, Pooh, where are you? There I am. Pooh! And they rushed to each other's arms. How did you get here, Pooh? On my boat? I have a very important message in a bottle, and I couldn't read it, so I brought it to you on my boat. And he gave Christopher Robin the message. It's from Piglet. Isn't there anything about Pooh in it? Oh, those are P's are for Piglet? I thought they were for Pooh. We must rescue him at once. I thought he was with you, Pooh. Owl, could you go get him? I don't think so. Then could you fly and let him know that we're coming? And Pooh and I will think of a rescue and come as soon as we can? Now then, Pooh, where's your boat? I ought to say that this isn't just an ordinary sort of boat. Sometimes it's a boat, and sometimes it's an accident. It all depends. Depends on what? On whether on top, if I'm on top or underneath. It wasn't that Christopher Robin expected, and the more he looked at it, the more he thought of what a brave and clever bear Pooh was. But it's too small for two of us. Three with Piglet. That makes it smaller still. Oh, Pooh, what can we do? And then this bear, Pooh Bear, Winnie the Pooh, had an idea. We might go in your umbrella. We might go in the umbrella. So they're going to use the umbrella as a boat. They're going to turn it upside down and make it a boat. Suddenly, Christopher Robin saw that they could. He opened the umbrella, pointed it down in the water. It floated and wobbled as Pooh got in. He was beginning to say it was all right now, and then he found that it wasn't. So after that, they both got in together, and it didn't wobble anymore. I shall call this boat the Brain of Pooh. You can imagine Piglet was so happy when the ship came for him. He liked to think that he'd been in very great danger during the terrible flood, but the only danger he'd really been in was when Owl, who floated down, sat on a branch and talked for a really long time. How interesting. And that is really the end of the story, as I am very tired. So they went to get Piglet in the little boat. Isn't that excellent how they saved their friend? I like that story. All right, guys, I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.